let her talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey
Okay.
everybody, how's it going? So for those tuning in to the replay, you can play along as well because we'll have some activities. Yes, activities, not like bad, like homework, but we're going to do some fun stuff. So if you are catching the replay, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, however you best like to take notes, and we're going to work on some goal setting stuff. I know it's that G word. Everyone's like, goals, growth. Ew, what are goals? No, we're going to talk intentions. We're going to talk, this is what I want, right? Because you're not going to be connected to a goal if it's just not really what you want. And that's boring. Nobody wants boring. Okay. It's a Monday night. We're not doing boring here. Okay. And for everyone who is on the live with us, if you wouldn't mind heading to the chat, my friends, and tell me what your focus is for the next 3 months. Doesn't have to be a whole year. It doesn't have to be fancy. I just need to know slash want to know what your focus is. And it doesn't have to be a goal, the smart goal and all of that happy hoorah. No, I just want to know what's your focus? What do you want to work on for the next 3 months? This could be business. This could be personal. This could be family. This could be a house project, budget, a trip. What are you doing? Booking parties and promotions. Ha, Stephanie's new. I love it. Booking parties and promotions in the next 3 months. That's my focus. Yes. I want to change the word goal to focus. What do you want to focus on? What matters? What do you want? Level 5 incentive, 5,000 PRB, organizing mass spaces. Oh, yes. Reviving my business by focusing on systems. Okay. Wedding March 1st. That's a big focus, Stephanie. That is a big focus. Building my front line. Oh, that's a big one. Reconnecting with customers. Nonsensey Life, book our first Disney DVC trip. Hey, yeah, this could be Sensey Life. This could be personal. It's okay to have more than one focal area. You could call this areas plural of focus. Yeah. Key areas of focus, if you will. You'll start to notice over the next few months, I don't want to spill the beans here, but you'll start to see some things. I believe we're adding a news article, I think Thursday or Friday, about key areas of focus. That have to do with your business. So that is helpful. We're also going to talk through some things for the year at leadership, if that is within your purview and you're heading there in a week. But then also just start to expect some things to trickle out, especially at World Tour. So I'm not spilling any magical beans here. In fact, I've done this particular training, I want to say October or November, but we're going to go through some things. Especially, I know this is a great time to start with goal setting and intentions and planning for the year, but really, this is something that you could revisit anytime. And in fact, I would encourage you to revisit it because your focus is going to change. You might have a different area of focus throughout your business or your life, and you also might start to identify different styles. I'm going to talk through some different planning techniques or organization type things within your systems and your noggin to get it all out of this spaghetti noodle brain up here onto paper or onto a computer or whatever you're choosing to use. And that can change over time. I think back to all of the different planning styles that I've had over the years, and mercy, my friends, I jumped headfirst into the planner community, and went real deep into that pool. Lots of stickers, lots of washi tape, lots of like monthly, weekly kits. I've tried 50 million different types of planners, horizontal, vertical, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, goal setting, planning. You need it. I've got it. Just it's over here in this cart. There's a bunch of stuff. So I will tell you that your styles may change over time. So that's why instead of looking at like this big 12-month yearly calendar, sometimes that can be very overwhelming. And some people need that high level view of what do I have? And then start to whittle it down. So if you say, what's your 5-year plan? Some people are like, That's cute. That's real cute. That's 5-year plan. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Okay. But then others may look at that and say, yes, I need to know what my 5-year plan is. This is what I want to do. These are home projects. This is what I have going on for family, for my faith, for food, for fitness. Why is everything an F? I don't know. Let's add some fun in there as well and fictional characters with reading. So you could have a lot of different areas. Here's another one of focus that you want to focus on in this year. But let's also start to whittle that down a little bit into manageable chunks because sometimes the overwhelm gets us. The overwhelm gets us. It's only the 6th day of January, and I'm very overwhelmed because I still have all of my holiday decor up. Okay. And then I start thinking of all the things I have to do. But then I know that, oh, I have to do this later in January. And oh, I've got to do this before February. And oh, we're going to be gone for a world tour for 2.5 weeks. Oh my gosh. And then there's SFR and then there's boot camp. And so then my mind starts to go bananas and I freak out a little bit. And I get very overwhelmed when I really just need to focus on taking the lights off my house and taking my tree down. Okay. So we're going to start with this big picture view and whittle it on down. Okay. I'm going to catch up on the chat in case I miss some things. Okay. Kyle said, in the next 3 months, I'm recovering from surgery. So, how do I stay active each month and continue to interact with my peeps? Yes. Okay, that's great. I want to get organized, world tour. Yes. Love new planners. Oh yeah. The idea of a planner life, but I don't know how people do it. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. There's you have to plan, and that's just so silly. But I finally found a system that works. I have encountered and experienced what they call in the community planner piece. Planner piece. I found it. I found it. It's great. And I'll probably change it 6 months from now. It's fine. It's what we do. Fantasy Fairies, Fabulous Time. See, I love it. I love it. Literally looking at my Christmas decor, realizing I should have taken it down this past week. Here's the thing. I usually keep mine up through the Epiphany, which is today. And so then I'm like, oh, I'll just get home from work and I'll start taking. No, you think I want to do that tonight? No, no, I do not. Not doing it. Okay. Cassie said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, focus. Don't let your brain have enough time to talk itself out of things. That is the big thing, like where you're just going for it. You count down and you go instead of giving yourself a chance to talk yourself out of something. The Christmas is still up too. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's the last day of Christmas. It's Epiphany. Yeah. So really, I could take stuff down anytime between now and October and I'd be fine. Okay, so I'm going to close out the chat just for now. Just for now, because oh, my friend, I might need to have you give me permissions to share. Oh no, I can't. I can't. Okay, good. All right. This is uncaffeinated Sarah, by the way, just so we're clear. All right. I have 50 million screens open. Let me refocus and figure out where I'm looking. So I'm going to share this. I know that I'm spotlighted, so you might need to adjust your view. So if you want to see the slides and not me, totally fine. I don't mind at all. If you want to see everybody, you can change your view on how you are looking at your screen. But you should be seeing a slide deck. We're going to call this Make Time to Make a Big Difference. So yes, we're talking goal setting. Yes, we're talking beginning of the year things, but I also want to get to the root of that organization, the idea of how do we break things down from this big, massive, like I said, spaghetti noodle brain into something that becomes an actionable task, something that we can check off and get that dopamine rush. Yeah, that's in that checkbox and you check it. And then you go to the to-do list that you had before and you write in things that you already did just so you can cross it off or check it. Oh, I know. We're friends here. We know. We know how this goes. So you can make a very big difference by doing small things consistently. Okay. That momentum and the consistency is going to start building up to that big victory. So it doesn't have to be this giant, big, lofty thing. It can be, but how do you take that and start to whittle it down into something that you can manage, something you can control, something you can check off, and something you can celebrate at the end when you did it? Okay, that's what we're looking for here. Because a lot of times, like, head to the chat. Let's do this really quickly. Tell me what you think of if I say, hey, let's set goals. Does that get you excited? Or does that be like, ah, this is boring? Or is it more of like goals? I don't know if I have those. Okay. So just this is honest space. This is Vegas rules. We're all friends here. We're not going to share. I mean, I know it's being recorded, but we're not going to like share. Okay. I just got instant heartburn. Heavy. Like again, more goals. Do I need those? Do I have to have those? What are my goals? Yeah. And guys, I think sometimes we've put ourselves in this weird spot where there's this expectation that we have to have them. And then it becomes this big thing. And then we overcomplicate it, we overthink it. And then at the end of the day, that's why I said, what do you want to focus on? What do you want to have happen? What are you excited to do? What is something that if you do it, you will celebrate? You will be so stinking excited. You will have the biggest poop eating grin on your face because you did it. We can call that a goal if you want. We can. We can call it an intention. We can call it a focus, whatever helps you decide. It's just stuff that you want to have happen within a certain amount of time. That's it. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be time bound. I mean, I know with SMART goals that you do have that time allocated to it. Yeah, Kyle said, I know this is bad, but just active this month. No, no, seriously. I don't know if you guys have seen on social media, my particular algorithm has been flooded with things that this is still winter. Okay. And we always do this big goal setting thing at the beginning of the year because it's January. It's the brand new fresh calendar. We can start fresh. Yeah, sure. No problem. But it's still winter. And up until a few hundred years ago, the majority of like the new year started in spring. Spring, late March. And not that I'm telling you to make goals at like the end of March by any means. I'm just saying that if you are in the space to be like, I don't know what goals are. I don't want them. I don't know if I want them. I don't know if I need them. I'm just trying to get through my day. Okay. Sometimes your goal is to shower, and that is okay. That is fair. Okay. What do you need to get done? What do you want to get done within a certain amount of time, within a day, within a week, within a month, within 3 months, within 6 months, within a year? How about three? How about five? Okay. So it doesn't have to be this massive thing that we overcomplicate and overthink, and then we stress ourselves out if we don't get it. Because I'm here to tell you, my friends, progress is progress no matter how small. Anything is better than zero. It does not have to be this big moment. If you did anything to get where you want to go and to check off that little box that got you a little bit closer to what you're going for, progress is progress. Okay. So we're just gonna put that out there. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to get done piece by piece. And I want you to be happy with it. That's it. If you're not happy with it and it's not working, change the dials, change it up, twist this, crank that over there, pull that lever, whatever you need to do to be interested in it again and to have some heart and buy off and a little bit of passion connected to it. Because if it's not going for it, you're gonna bail. And that's usually what happens to me if I make any type of fitness or gym resolution in the first week of January. So it's just not gonna. But if I tell myself I'm gonna drink more water today, I'm going to drink more water this week and I'm going to start tracking it. And then I notice that I've had more water because I've gone to the bathroom 50 million times. Okay, this is working. High five. I just told my brain that I'm doing something really well. So as you start to notate what you're doing, so for those of you who have gone in the chat so far, for those of you watching the replay, look at what you wrote down, look at what you typed in for what you want to have happen within the next 3 months. And then start breaking that down. You work backwards. Okay, well, what does that look like on a monthly basis? What does that now look like on a weekly basis? What do I need to do daily? And then what can you look at as a to-do list item, a task item that you can check off, you can high five yourself, and then you can celebrate. You're telling your brain, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I came across this thing. I know I've lingered on this slide for far too long. I'm going to go through it, I promise. But I came across this thing the other day I had a screenshot. It came up in my time hop of a goal that someone had sent me years ago. I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago, and said that their goal was to pay off a student loan. And so their monthly payment was $200 on that student loan. They wanted to get ahead of it, didn't want to have a lot of extra interest. Just the goal was to pay 200 monthly. So instead of saying like, how much money do I need to save? She turned it into how many parties do I need to book? And so then it was, okay, if a qualifying party is 200 and at that 200 party I would make, assuming 25%, $50, how many parties do I need to hold or how much PRV do I need to earn to get $200 college payment or student loan payment? Okay, so just starting to work backwards. But I'm saying this because, like I said, it doesn't have to be this big lofty thing. It could be a bill. It could be something you want to do around the house. Whatever you want to have happen in the next 3 months, let's focus on that. You could do 6 if you want. You could do 12. You could do 30 days, whatever that happens to look like for you. But let's start working backwards and figure out how we're going to get there. So you've identified what you want, the focus area or your areas of focus. I will add here I hesitate to give you more than 2 or 3. Anything more than 3 is probably going to overwhelm you, and we get this analysis paralysis, and then you don't put as much energy into the specifics. You start to spread it thin. And so I would recommend no more than 3 things that you want to focus on in the next 3 months as a priority, like your top 3. These are the priorities to me. It could be health, it could be fitness. But instead of these generalized things, again, we're whittling it down and we're getting very specific. So if you say, I want to book more parties in the next 3 months, what does that look like? Do you need to earn a specific amount of PRV? Do you need a certain commission check because of those parties? Let's get down to the nitty gritty and let's get specific about it. So if I want to say, oh, I want to connect more with my team, great. What does that look like? I want to connect with 5 of my team members every week. Okay. Or I want to do what, blah, blah, blah. I will do this. I can do this. The I cans and I wills are probably going to be really good friends of yours as you start to figure out what your focus areas or your goals might be. Okay. I can do this and I will do this. And if you like the SMART goal idea of the specific, the measurable, attainable, the relevant, the timely, that's great. There's also something called WOOP, WOOP, that has been really helpful for me. I studied this in one of my classes this last year, where the W stands for wish or outcome. So like, this is what I want. This is what I want to have happen. And then you have your obstacle, like, oh, like you have there's 2 O's. So there's outcome and there's obstacle. Like, if this happens, what does that mean to you? You have to have that emotional buy-in. Like, what's the outcome? What am I gonna experience? What am I gonna feel? What am I gonna see? What kind of cash am I gonna touch? Based on that. An income disclosure statement here. And then the second O is your obstacle. And sometimes that biggest obstacle is ourselves. Okay, so when you have an obstacle, you're looking at, here's what I want. This is why I want it. Here's the outcome. And this is what's going to happen when I get it. This could be a roadblock, though. This could get in my way. I could be easily distracted by scrolling. I could spend far too much time on my phone. I only should watch 1 episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but instead I watch 5, okay, in one night. Whatever that happens to be. So you identify what the obstacle is, and then the P is plan. You have a plan for what happens when that obstacle gets in your way. And remember, sometimes we are the obstacle. So when this happens, I will do this. Okay? Whoop! There it is. There you go. There's a different take on goal setting. Okay. Most people aren't doing anything's better than that. Yes, that is correct. Okay, I'm going to move off this slide yet. Everyone raise a hand, holla to the roof. Yep, we're off of this. Common misconception here, my friends. You can't manage time. Time management is an oxymoron. Time is beyond our control. The clock will tick regardless of how you lead your life. Okay? You cannot manage time. It manages us, really. But priority management is the answer to maximizing the time you have. So when we were looking back at those 1 to 3 goals, 1 to 3 focus areas, 1 to 3 wants, needs, whatever you're going for that you're going to celebrate and get excited about, those are your priorities. So how are we managing the different priorities? Because we know there are other things in life that also are around us. If we could just focus on those things, super. That's all we need right now. We have other jobs. We have partners, we have kids, we have pets, we have church obligations, community obligations. I got to take down my Christmas stuff. All of these things can seem like a priority because they're important, they matter. So, how do you prioritize your time? How do you figure out where and how much to pour into these things? Because it's all important. It all needs to get done. You want it all to happen, or it needs to all happen. So, how do we figure that out? So, we need to decide what's urgent and important. So you may be familiar with the Eisenhower matrix of this urgent and important idea. So if you start to think about everything that ends up on your plate on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, any rando text message that you get, any notification that comes through, sorry, my throat is super dry. Any notification that happens to come through, it can seem, it can seem like it's really important and it's really urgent, but is it? Is it? So think about that. Here is your time matrix. So if you start plotting things out, all of those things that you need to do, and if you look at your focus areas and you're like, ooh, I need to have this happen, or I want to have this happen in the next 3 months. Again, we're going to give ourselves some grace. Any progress is progress. Remember, no matter how small, anything is better than zero. You also start to think, what happens when these other things pop up and they become distractions? What's going to pull me away from something that I'm going for? The obstacles, remember, sometimes that's us. But you start to think of all of the things on your to-do list on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. How urgent are they, or are they? And how important are they, or are they? So it kind of helps sometimes to draw those out into this time matrix, this Eisenhower matrix, if you will. If it's urgent and important, guys, it's a necessity. What is absolutely necessary in your day, in your week, in your month? What are the non-negotiables that are urgent and they are important? Non-negotiables. It is a necessity, must be done. Okay, so start plotting those out. Start thinking about that. I'm going to get to another thing here. Remember, you're jotting down notes. We're going to all come. This is all going to be a big, whoop, nice little package with a purple bow. Okay, if it's not urgent, but it's really important, let's check the effectiveness of this. Okay, and then we start to get into the bottom part where it's not urgent and not important. Is this a distraction, or is this a complete waste of my time? And sometimes, depending how many episodes you watch, it could be a complete time suck. It is a waste. And anything that you're doing in this quadrant of waste is preventing you from getting what you want done in 3 months, or in a month, or tomorrow, whatever that goal happens to be. Here's another way to look at it. If it is urgent and important, do it now. So now we've taken this complex thing of, is it urgent? Is it important? Is it necessary? Oh, I like acronyms. I like alliteration. I like wordplay. So I found this and it helps so very much. As you're looking at your massive to-do list, what has to be done right now? It is urgent. It is important. It must be done. Do it now. Then you have this other area where you're like, I have some time to decide here. When's the best time to complete this? It is important. I do need to take care of this, but it's not urgent. Okay. So it's important, but I don't have to do it right this second. I have time to decide. So then you decide the best time to complete this. Is it tomorrow? Do I need to shift this over to Thursday? And don't worry, we're going to get to a calendaring thing here in just a second. Then you say, ooh, this is urgent, but it's not important. Okay. I can delegate this. It has to be done, but it doesn't have to be done by me. Someone else can do this. The dishes need to be done. The laundry needs to be folded. Dogs need to go for a walk. Someone else can do it. Let's delegate it a little bit. Okay. Then we're also looking at this quadrant of waste where it's not urgent, it's not important. Delete it. Just delete it. Take it off your list. Does it have to be done? Does it have to be done? Is it important? No. Is it urgent? Not at all. Can I delete it? Might hurt a little. Might be like, ooh, overthinking, over analysis paralysis here. But at the end of the day, if it's not getting you what you want, delete it. Ooh, that's hard. That's a tough one. Okay. So you're thinking, all right, that's great, Sarah, but now how do I do this? So here is a priority management, not time management method that has been proven to be wildly effective, regardless of what you're looking for. If you're breaking down a daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, 6 months, quarterly, whatever you're looking at here. Okay. So the 30, 30, 10. We're going to dive into this. Don't you worry. So what I want you to do, think about your big calendar, this big calendar that you have of everything that you have to do on a monthly basis. All of your non-negotiables, doctor's appointments, work schedule, spouse schedule, kids schedule, when are you booking parties, all these things. We're just going to do a big old fatty brain dump. And what we're going to do is go from the month, we're going to whittle it down to the week, we're going to whittle it down to the days. And sometimes, if you want, you can even start to plot things out with a time blocking method or an hourly method. Maybe it's a morning, afternoon, and evening type of a method. Maybe you are combining different things together. Okay. So we're just going to do a big old fatty brain dump. Okay. I'm going to give you a little time to do this. And this is for you. I don't have to see this. You don't have to share it. This is just an idea to help you figure out all of your commitments, all of your non-negotiables, and we're just going to do this real quick. Okay? I will give you a little bit of time here. I won't sing and I won't do Jeopardy or anything like that. I'm just going to give you some time. Okay. Okay, check my notes. Okay. Hopefully I gave you enough time or at least a little bit to get started. You can always come back to it. Oh, I missed that. There's our brain dump slide. Okay, so the 30-10 rule is you're going to spend 30 minutes at the beginning of your week to plan out, like, here's the thing. So there's 30-30-10. So what I like to do, like on a monthly basis, I know we're 6 days in, but this could help. So usually at the beginning of the month or the tail end of the previous, you're going to take 30 minutes and just plot out the next 30 days of what you have going on. Remember, we're starting with like our monthly focus. So if you're doing your brain dump like right now, we're 6 days in, it's totally fine. And you think about everything that has to be done within the next 30 days or the next month, right? To get you closer to what you're going for. Okay, so you have your 30 days, you're looking at a 30 months or a 30-day spread, month ahead. Let's look at our month. Then every Sunday, if it works for you, depending on what your schedule looks like, you're going to take 30 minutes to plan out what the next week looks like. Okay, so it's you have all your non-negotiables, you have all your urgent and important things that have to be done for the month. But now we're going to start to whittle that down into, remember, something that we can prioritize and quote unquote manage and control a little bit more. So then you're going to spend the 30 minutes looking at your next week. And then every day, there's a nice little sun here because it's like the start of a new day. You're going to spend 10 minutes figuring out what you're going to do that day. Okay. So you have the weekly, like a 30-day. I know that some months have 31, some have 28, whatever. We're just going to say 30. Okay. The month at a glance. And then at the beginning of every week, you're going to take 30 minutes and plot out what do I have going on this week? And then 10 minutes in the morning, what do I have going on today? Okay. So that 10 minutes, like, let's be real. How many times, how long are you scrolling? How long does it take your coffee to get ready? How long are you sitting in the kids' drop-off line? Or could you get up 10 minutes earlier? Or any of those things, right? How can we just take 10 minutes in our day and plot out what has to be done, looking at what I need to do, what I need to decide, what I need to delegate, or what I just need to delete. And sometimes that means like moving on to another day or completely striking it from your list. Okay, so there's the 30-30-10. So looking at your big giant brain dump that you have on that piece of paper, I know that we're looking at this like again on the 6th, but let's pretend it's Monday. That's fine. We're going to pretend it was yesterday. What do you need to get done this week? Looking at that big giant list of all the things, what needs to be done this week? We are taking the complex, we're taking the overwhelm, we're taking the stress and all the spaghetti noodle business, and we're just trying to keep it simple. We're trying to whittle it down into manageable tasks that we can check off, get that dopamine rush, and then when we do it, high five yourself because now you're telling your brain, this is working. This is good. I'm making progress. Okay. This is good stuff. That's ultimately what we're going for here. So how do we get that? So then you have your whole month, your week, your days, everything's great. Now I want you to put that hat back on of what you wrote down before, and you're looking at it through the lens of what's my big focus goal? So then if you're thinking, ooh, I need to focus on this in the next 3 months, how are you now inserting those actionable things into your monthly planning, your weekly planning, and your daily plan? Okay. So you can have this big giant ball of stuff that you have to get done just as being a human in your adulting life. And you have something that you really want to do. You have something that you really want to accomplish in the next 3 months, or maybe six, or maybe it's a year, whatever that happens to look like for you. But whatever you wrote down, whatever you want to focus on, where are you going to put that into the pockets of time that you have available? To really have that focused, intentional, purposeful time when, yes, you're adulting, yes, you're momming, yes, you're dadding, yes, you're being an auntie, a sister, a grandma, a pet parent, whatever you are, all of the things, all of the responsibilities, all the things that are just clamoring for your attention. Where are you going to put those things in? Pencil it in. Don't use pencil. We're going to use pen. We're going to use like permanent marker. I'm just kidding. Sometimes you have to be flexible. You can have some whiteout if you need it. How are you going to plug that in to the time that you have available? Remember, we all have the same 24 hours. So how do we make that work? So here are some ideas for how to quote unquote manage your time or prioritize your time. So here are some methods. I shared that 30-30-10 with you. Once you have gotten it to the point where you're looking at your month at a glance, your week, and your day, you can start to think, ooh, maybe I need to time block a little bit more. I know that I work in the office from 9 to 5 or so. So anything else that I need to do, I have between, let's say 5:30, 6 o'clock to do dinner, homework. I need to take down Christmas stuff. I have all these other things. So basically from like 6 until when I go to bed at midnight, I have a 6 hour time block to get stuff done. What does that look like? And I know because I've done my planning ahead that there are some non-negotiables. Maybe because I planned on Sunday for the week that was coming, I know that my kiddo has practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and there's a game on Friday. And within that, I know that my time is blocked. My time is blocked from 6 to 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Friday from 5 to 9. Okay, so now that starts to impact my daily and my weekly schedule a little bit. And so then I start to look at these different tasks that need to get done. Is there something that I could do within my day, my week? Maybe not tomorrow because it's Tuesday and I know that I'm really blocked here, but Wednesday's wide open. Is there a batch of tasks that I could get done that are pretty similar? And I know that I have a 4 hour block where I have nothing going on, that I could do these things in 4 hours. So you start to batch your tasks together a little bit. And then depending on the type of note taker you are, maybe you're like a bullet journaler, maybe you like post-its everywhere, whatever. There's different ways that you can start to keep things all together in those tasks or time block areas. Also, mind mapping is helpful as well, especially as you start looking at what that 3 month goal is. So if you say, I want to book more parties, but remember, we're going to be a little specific with that. I need to make X amount of money and I need to make sure that my parties are all this amount, which means I probably need to book more than I think I do because some parties are flops and some are really great. So on average, let's do 4 parties a month. Okay. So what does that look like? So if you start with 4 parties in the middle and you start like drawing a circle and then all these things, so what do I have to do? I need to contact my host, but I need to have hosts first. So then you start having these little lines that go out with little circles. You're like, okay, well, I need to start talking to people. I need to post. I need to do this. I need to do this. Probably need to do some host packets. What kind of party do I want to do? So then you see that your mind starts to just go everywhere. Just plot that down on paper. And this is mind mapping where you have the connections, and it looks like a spider web with lots of circles and like a weird map, but it's fine. It's fine. And then you're thinking, oh man, how do I do this in my time? Because I'm kind of flighty. I shouldn't say flighty. I can say that about me, but I'm not saying that about you. I'm not really flighty. I just get easily distracted, okay? Because I have a little bit of the initials, the ADHD business, and then I also have some OCD business in there as well. Something that has helped me tremendously with my spicy brain is the Pomodoro technique, where I need to have dedicated time. So within my time blocking, I know that I have that dedicated 2 hours tonight to do something like take down Christmas stuff. Am I going to do it? I don't know. Maybe this is motivating me to do some stuff. You never know. Okay. Time is it? All right, we're good. So you're going to do this Pomodoro technique. There are some really, really great YouTube Pomodoros that are out there. Like if you're sitting at your computer. So say your task list means that you're going to be sitting at your computer for a while, or you have your phone or something. Here's the thing, you can't use your phone for scrolling, but it does a timer. So you can set it for these Pomodoros where you have 20 minutes of uninterrupted time, or it could be 15, however you want to do your time. Normally mine is like a 20 minute, and then I have a 5 minute break. So that 5 minutes, I can be like, whoo, my brain needs a little rest. I could take a sip of water. I could go to the bathroom. I could go pet my dog. I could go get a cookie, whatever I want to do. And then that chimer's going to chime and I'm back to it for 20 more minutes, just hyper focused, hyper vigilant. Yes, very intentional, purposeful time. So if you need that type of structure for some things, Pomodoro is the way to go. Cannot recommend that enough. Here are some other things to consider, regardless of the kind of planning that you do, goal setting that you're doing, however is it a paper planner? Is it an electronic planner? Do I use my phone? Do I use paper? What am I using? Things to consider. You are a different learner. Some people are visual learners. Some are auditory learners. Some are hands-on kinetic. I need to touch my planner with a pen and paper, and I also need to see it. I'm very visual. But if you tell me something, oh, merciful heavens, I need to write it down. I need to see it. I have to open up my mind's eye and see the words coming out of your mouth, or I will not learn it. Okay? So it helps to know what your learning style is. Otherwise, any type of system you try to adopt that's working really, really great for somebody else, it's not going to work for you because you don't learn the same way. You're also keeping in mind the task complexity. So that's why I said, let's break this down into 3 months of what you want to have happen. What do you want to do in the next 3 months? Or 6? Or 1? What does that look like? How complex is your task? How complex is your big, hairy, audacious goal? Okay. How complex is it? How many little circles and streamers do we have on our mind map there? How many bullet points do we have if we just list it all out and we're like, oh gosh, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. How realistic is this going to be? And so also thinking about your planning preference. Again, this is kind of like learning style. Everyone has a preference. Everyone has a different style. And what works for one is not going to work for another. And sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes it's going to take you a really long time to get to that peaceful area where you figured out what kind of a planner you are. Do you need to have a morning, afternoon, evening schedule? Do you need hourly? So this is where that time blocking comes in. Do you need something like you need to know what you're doing every single hour of every day? Super duper. I do that too. Okay. Or is it more loose? Is it more like I just need to know what I'm doing in the morning from like, I don't know, 8 in the morning until noon. And then I've got like noon to 4, noon to 5, like this afternoon chunk. And then in the evening after dinner, whatever, we have our family time. I've got a pretty good evening schedule here that I can get stuff done between like 7 and 10. Okay, so that might be something that you're more driving with. Do you need flexibility or do you need to have it rigid? So things like that you need to consider. Again, digital or paper preference. Maybe you need to have things color coded. Maybe you have highlighters or pens or post-its or whatever that looks like. Maybe Scentsy stuff is purple. Maybe your work, like maybe you have an office or a job outside Scentsy, and I like to associate like my job stuff with green because that's my money, that's my green, right? And so, and then like my son, when he was playing soccer, they had blue uniforms, and so all of his sports stuff was blue. And now he's like in high school and their colors are maroon and silver. So all of his school stuff is maroon. So you think of these colors that make intuitive sense to you and you start blocking those off. Does your spouse have a different color? Are your kiddos like different activities? House cleaning, is that like yellow because I use squeeze the day? I don't know. You just start thinking. And then as you're looking at your schedule, that you have your month, you have your week, you have your day, and then you're time blocking and you're task batching, and then you see the colors, you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much more time than I thought I did to prioritize my priorities. Okay, this makes a lot more sense to me now. And I have more time than I thought I did because I'm not scrolling as much and I'm actually doing things that are going to move the needle for the things that I want to have happen that I can high five myself and get some higher commission checks with. Maybe. Okay. I'm jumping here. All right. So we're going to try this out. We've worked through a couple things here, but this is what we're going to do. So I know it's January 6th. I know it's a Monday. It's not a Sunday. I get it. Okay. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this for the next month, all of January. Okay. We're gonna do this. So set aside time. You can do it today because it's Monday. That's safe. It's closer to Sunday than like say we had this training on a Thursday. I would just have you wait. But no, we're doing this today. Okay. So you probably already have a big healthy chunk of this already done from our brain dump, hopefully. Or if you're watching the replay, hopefully it's Monday or Tuesday. You're still gonna do it if it's a Tuesday, though, okay? We're not gonna wait till Monday. That's almost an entire week gone. No, not doing that. Okay. So we're gonna take 30 minutes tonight. Okay. And we're gonna plot out the rest of the week. And then tomorrow morning, you're going to get up and you're going to spend 10 minutes or whatever your schedule is. Maybe you have it like different shift work, totally fine. 10 minutes before your day starts. Whatever time your day starts, take 10 minutes before that day begins, okay? And plot out what the day looks like. What are your non-negotiables? What do you need to do? What do you need to decide? What do you need to delegate? And what do you need to delete? Okay. You can do a spaghetti noodle brain dump. You can allow for rigid flexibility. Yeah. And you are going to make time for yourself to make a difference consistently. And remember, you're plugging in those times wherever that works with your daily, weekly, monthly schedule to get the things done, your tasks that you can check off that are going to get you closer to that 3 month goal, focus, want, need, desire, wish, whatever that word is that you identified, it's going to get you there. Okay, I think I'm done. All right, let me go see what I missed on chat. All right. What I miss?
I don't think you miss.
Did I miss anything?
I think we were just going like writing stuff that you
Okay.
said.
Okay. Oh, I like iPhone, some personal modes, work modes. Yes, you can do that with, even if you don't have an iPhone, you can
I
do
don't
that
know
with
what Android
Samsung.
has, so
Yeah.
I know I'm
Samsung will do it too.
Android.
I also have like bedroom mode, and so, or not bedroom
Yeah,
mode.
like
Whoa. Whoa.
do not
Bedtime
disturb
mode.
mode.
Yes,
Um,
you can set your modes. So like I'm not scrolling, I'm not able to do other things. Like I can get like texts or phone messages or like phone calls from certain people, whatever. But like my phone goes dark to like newsprint, like black and white gray at 11 o'clock. And I know that that's like I love it.
yeah,
And I'm not allowed to scroll. I'm not allowed to do anything else. That's it. It's bedtime.
that's like helped my brain a lot to oh, like starting to break the habit of like wanting to grab your phone all the time because you can
Mhm.
set like limits on even on like how much time you spend in certain apps. Like, I mean, the personalization gets crazy. So if you're like a
Yeah.
person who like feels like addicted to this, like,
And honestly, when you're doing your dedicated planning or when you're like plotting out what your month, your week, your day looks like, yeah, you might need your phone there if you like keep track of stuff, but you're not opening anything else up. You're just using that for the tool that it can be and not the distraction that it tends to be, right? And so maybe like during your focus Pomodoro work time, or if you have like that 2 hour time block where you're like, ooh, I can get a crap ton of stuff done. Put your phone in another room. Just don't even let it be a temptation. Put it face down, move it into another room, and then get the stuff done that you want to have done. And maybe one of your goals or focuses is that. Maybe it's more family time. Maybe it's being present a little bit more. Whatever you have going on. Yeah, let's just do those. Remember, progress. You're just doing those small steps over time that are going to lead to big victory. Okay, that's it. You have time back in your night. We can go take down our Christmas stuff.
um, do you guys have any questions for
Yeah.
Sarah before we release her?
And if
That
anything
was so
pops up,
good.
honestly, if you anything pops up, you guys know where to find me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. If they're like, oh crap, I should have asked her this, and then it's like 10 o'clock tonight, just send me an email. It's fine.
Yeah, and she's mountain time, so she's
Yeah,
a couple hours earlier than most of us anyways.
yeah, yeah.
But this was so good. I think I really needed to hear a lot of that stuff and like reaffirm like what I've been thinking and trying to implement. So,
Okay.
hey, at least worked for me if no one else liked it.
Hey,
So, thanks for that.
of course, anytime. Thanks for spending a
Um,
little bit of your night with me, my friends. This was fun.
and the recording will be up as usual. I'll get that up tomorrow for you guys and out to everybody. Um, and if you're part of our normal group and not we invited a couple other teams to join in.
Yeah.
If you're part of our normal group, you'll get our normal um, mail, snail mail from me, Shelly, and um, what am I? What is wrong with my brain? Kendra. I'm literally looking at all these faces and I'm like wanting to say all of your names. Like I don't know who you are.
But it's, hey man,
We have
it's
like 14 inches of snow here. My brain is under 14 inches of snow.
holy moose.
Yeah, we
Texas.
don't normally get that, so it's been
Wow, that's bananas. Stay warm, stay safe.
so
Holy mercy. Plus, let's
that's all
remember
we got
it's a Monday. It's a big, giant Monday.
after
Like,
all the holiday
let's
craziness.
be real. Just give ourselves a little grace. It's totally fine.
But you guys are awesome. Go promote
Okay.
the $20 join special and bring back my bar and tell everybody to get Pixie. And
Pixie's a good one. I'll give you that. I'll give you
my
that.
favorite of all time. So
Yep.
we love you, Sarah. Thank you for being on. And thank you to
You're welcome.
everybody for taking your time out to spend this Monday with us.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.